Welcome everyone to another edition of Simplified Marketing with KRO. So today we're actually going to be answering questions sent in by viewers. And if you do have questions that you would like to ask in relation to marketing communications, or even strategy, you can send them to hello@pandoraagency.co, and we will definitely get your questions once you send them in. Now, the first question we have is from a Christian, and he asks, "My name is Christian, and I'm a business tech copywriter and content writer. I have an avid passion for the environment, and I just started a blog on that niche." Very good. "The aim of my blog is to introduce zero waste living in Nigeria and also foster adaptation to the growing market of green technologies." Interesting. "For now, I do not have any labor power and foundational marketing strategies in place, and my question is, what are the best tips you can give solopreneurs in this case in the areas of content strategy, marketing, and other esoteric tips for engagement, consumer/customer data? Thanks again for the opportunity. I appreciate. Have a nice weekend." All right, Kristen, your question is received, and that's very interesting what you're looking to do. And what I would first of all, what I usually do is begin research. For you to put pen into paper, you need to have a very good marketing strategy in place, because it's meant to serve as a guide and pretty much keep you on track as to what you need to do at a certain point in time. That is the whole essence of having a marketing strategy. So first things first is begin research. Who are those doing it within Nigeria? Being able to introduce zero waste living in Nigeria. I follow and I know quite a number of blogs as well as YouTube channels that actually do this, and I find them very fascinating and very interesting. And it's something we actually need in Nigeria, so it's a really good one. So once you begin research and you find out about your competitive advantage as well as competitors analysis, finding out who are your competitors, what do they do, how does their blog look, what advantage do you have over them, do a basic SWOT analysis as well, their strengths, their weaknesses, opportunities, and so on and so forth. Okay, once you carry that out, then you can actually go and do a little more research in terms of the developed nations. Who are those in the developed nations that are actually doing it well? And I mentioned earlier about me following quite a number of YouTube pages that actually are affiliated with zero waste living. So you can start with that as well. Okay, and what you can do is, people like storytelling is key, and that's why storytelling sells so much in regards to content marketing. Okay, so tell your story. How, on a day-to-day basis, do you live a zero waste-free life? How do you do it? Okay, people would like to know, and document your journey as it goes. I'm partnered with popular lifestyle platforms. Bella Nigeria is one of them. I'm very sure they'll be very open to listening and pretty much reading your transcripts on zero waste living and probably incorporate it in what they do. Zikoko is also a great platform that I know that are very, they are not rigid. They're very flexible in receiving content of that sort. So you can also partner with these people. And what you can also do is leverage creatives, visually, people tend to appeal to things they can see. They tend to resonate with things they can see. Make it an infographics. Okay, if you have a great design, if you have a great use of design, Canva is is a great tool to use. Interpret that in terms of creatives. Okay, so some people like to read your text, but spice it up. Video, creatives, text, you can alternate all three. And trust me, after a few weeks or even a few months, you can now look at the results. Which of this content strategy resonates with people more? Is it the infographics? Is it even the partnership that you have? Is it text? And so on and so forth. That is the essence of having reports done on a weekly basis. So you also mentioned that for marketing and other esoteric tips for engagement to consumer. So I pretty much mentioned that. Excuse me. So what you want to do is, once you've done your research, you've come up with your marketing strategy, you found out, okay, so this is situation analysis of what's on ground. You know who your competitors are. You know how they actually craft out their message. You know what their key messaging are. You know how they post. You pretty much have seen what their most engaging posts are. You've crafted out also your communications mix. You've said, okay, maybe this is my blog, so once I post this content on my blog, these are the avenues at which I would actually promote them across the platforms. Okay, so once you've done all that, you have a concrete marketing strategy. Ensure that you have a reporting done. Like I mentioned earlier, it's something you can always go back to at the end of every month and say, okay, so let's see what has worked, what has not worked. Okay, and that's it. Those are the tips I would have for you. Once you start with that, let's reevaluate after 3 months and let me know how it goes. So the second question we have is from William, and it says, we would like to begin marketing our HR and recruitment solutions. How do we effectively target our audience to achieve this? We are a small business. Fantastic. Now, my first question to business owners in this line is usually, how much of an engagement do you have via digital space? How much of a following do you have via digital space? How much do people know about your company? How much do people know about the services you actually provide? And the answer to that is pretty simple. Are you consistent with posting across all platforms? Are you seen as an emerging thought leader across all platforms? Are you seen as an authority in those lines? You're talking about HR software, you're talking about recruitment solutions. There are quite a lot of them out there. In as much as it's a big thing in Nigeria now, we have software solutions providers from other nations actually partner with some similar solutions providers in Nigeria. So what you want to do is, first of all, you need to build up following across digital platforms, okay, by way of your social media accounts, by way of your search engine optimization for your blog. Once people Google these solutions, even from developed nations, do you come out? Are you seen as thought leaders? Business listings, very important as well. And also press releases, PR, advertorials, okay, sponsored articles. You need to be affiliated with emerging news media. You need to be affiliated with respected authorities in the media. And that's what sponsored articles will do for you. That's what press releases will do for you. That's what advertorials will do for you. Okay, interviews as well. Okay, with tech blogs and so on and so forth. So you pretty much want to be known within a certain niche. You have to go to media in relation to that niche. Now you're talking about software. Software is tech, right? So the technology platforms, technology blogs in Nigeria, you need to have your story told. You can do that like I mentioned earlier, by doing press releases or even interviews, or even give them a tour of your facility, or just even send the software to them, let them test it out for a month and write their thoughts behind the software. Ensure it's as transparent as possible. If you have a great software, that should not be a problem. Okay, and that builds authority over time, because once people search for you, let's say they're searching for Kenya Pandora. Pandora is marketing and strategy communications agency. What I want to do is to be known as a thought leader. I want to have certain articles placed on, high-ranking sites across the media digitally. Punch newspaper is one of them. These days, one of them, Guardian is getting there, and so on and so forth. So I want to have interviews done with these people, so they upload it across their platforms on the digital space as well as the offline space. So we are seen as thought leaders when it comes to people typing in that search word, marketing agencies in Nigeria, marketing agencies in Africa. We come out for that because those people rank high, so things like that you want to be known for, and be very consistent with your engagement across social media. Your engagement across social media, first of all, you want to build a content strategy. What is your content strategy? You're talking about HR software and recruitment solutions. You have to be known as emerging thought leaders in that field. So what are you writing? What can people learn from you? What are the trends within your industry? You need to tap into that. You need to write great articles, you need to write great content, you need to have great visuals to back it up, and you upload it across these platforms. Do that consistently for 6 months. Then you will begin marketing in full effect, and trust me, it's just going to work on its own, meaning that without you spending so much, you're going to be receiving so much. Currently at Pandora, once we put out recruitment, we put out some certain roles, even for advertorials. That's why we don't advertise as much, but when we do, we get a lot of requests from it because we built that solid foundation from the ground up. I hope that answers your question, Williams. And that brings us to the end of Simplified Marketing by KRO. If you have questions in relation to marketing and communications, or in relation to marketing strategy, we have a lot coming up very soon. I look forward to sharing my experienced knowledge with you. Sending your questions, sending your comments to hello@pandoraagency.co, and let me know in the comment section below if you found any of this answers useful to your business. Have a great week ahead.